Hello everybody, my name is welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 New Order as America. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So we have a new president. President Robert F. Kennedy is currently in the White House, and I have heard a lot of you say in the comments that we need to kind of temper our expectations a little bit, because in America we can't have too much of a good thing, and we need to make sure we do not reform too much. Otherwise, we might end up getting shots. That's at least what I've been told. So we're going to try to reform, but also make sure we kind of keep a moderate path to the best of our abilities at the very least. Aside from that, we've almost won down here in South Africa. Like, we're just dealing with Central Africa now. And I mean, they should end up falling fairly soon. If we look at, like, what are you at right now? 81% capitulate at 25. I'm hoping by probably not the end of March, but I'm going to say by the end of April, I would like the war in Africa to be over. That's my plan here, and we'll see if that'll actually work. Okay, operational success, fantastic. So am I able now to Operation KNAP? So you have a 69% chance of succeeding. This is going to help bring Emil Maurice to the United States. And you know what? Is there anything else we have around here? Scout. What about, like, let's destabilize Japan. Why not? Let's just throw that in there for a good measure. Like, I don't even know if we really even need to pay attention to what's even going on in South Africa anymore. Again, we want you to go towards Leopoldville. Probably hold your position for, like, a quick second. You're at 73. Move up like this. Are you that's Southwest Africa? A different place. Okay, so that's more support for our caucus. We will then do... Also, people are saying that we don't need to do fighting tyranny since 1776. People are saying that it's actually not that important. But if anybody has anything else to say about that, I would love to hear it in the comments. Inherited duty. Hawkish just increase. Again, I don't think we need to even worry about anything in this tree, because we're already almost have won. So I'm not even going to worry about it even a little bit. Let's go up to Leopoldville. That's also going to cut them in half here, which is nice for us. I mean, do we even need to send? What are you guys even doing? Like, you're going towards this city, but that city's actually not that important. Let's move you here. We'll have you move your way up the coastline of Africa. Like, because you are... Yeah, this is Central Africa. So let's, like, move up here. Move to Ponte Noir. Taking this city. South Africa's already taken that position, so we can keep on moving. Just draw this line like so. I mean, it looks like a mess. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that. The fall of Leopoldville. The blow was heavy and a dagger was plunged deep. After startling a string of defeats suffered by Africa's shield, Leopoldville and the administrative center of the Reichskommissariat has fallen into the hands of the American-led coalition. This news comes as a welcome development for the South Africans and their allies, as it now means that the Second Front has been successfully established deep inside Dutch Africa, crippling the German war effort and dramatically sinking their morale. The city, now bordering on the Congo Lake, was poorly fortified, but had strong natural defenses in the form of quagmires and the ever-present jungle, which slowed down the attackers and severely limited the use of artillery and air support. In the end, however, they weren't necessary. The hastily erected defenses fell shortly after the battle, as the mercenary garrison preferred to surrender in the face of dramatic numerical superiority of the enemy. Now they await to know their fate, as it is unclear whether they're actual soldiers or armed civilians. With the fall of Leopoldville, Central Africa is on the brink of collapse, and the entire shield hangs precariously in the balance. Unless both actions are taken, the victory follows, the war will be lost. Is there any way, like, realistically, that that these African shield could possibly win from this point? I can't imagine it. Enables thermal nuclear plants. You're 1970 tech. Even with a 50% research bonus, you're extremely expensive. Yeah, you're all 1970. You're all 1970. So I guess we'll go with the improved thermal electric plants. Seems okay. Okay, you moved your way to here. Aryan Brotherhood has conquered the West Russian Revolutionary Front. Are they Are you pro-Germany? I mean, I know obviously like that you're fascist, but are you pro-Germany or are you like Russian fascist who are emulating Germany? I'm not too sure which of the two you are. So we do have some German divisions here, which is annoying. Okay, Laurel Shadow. And I'm looking at this here as well, and I'm wondering if we maybe want to go for new leadership. I was looking at this between videos, and right now, people don't really like Vito. They're indifferent. He's mostly a support from the urbanites. I was looking at the other potential leaders here, and Benjamin Spock. Wait, are you the one I want? Yes. Their national appeal is outstanding, and they have support from everybody. So I was wondering if we want to try to make the play for, I mean, foreign political power. So I'm wondering if you want to replace the head of the party, the head of the progressives, with a new person. I mean, astounding with everybody versus indifferent by only the urbanites seems like a decent trade-off to me. So we're going to try to do this. We'll see how it goes. Point failures to caucus failures. I mean, we are going to get a 5%. We need to get you down, I believe it was like down to 20. Yes, currently 84. And we can do all of this. That's going to be a negative 40% for 300 political power. Honestly, is there anything else we need to do? For foreign policy, for global conflicts, I mean, we only have South Africa, and we're going to win this very soon. So I think it's fine to throw in all of this. So that's going to be a negative 40. That's going to get down to 44%. People don't like you too much. And that's good. It's good for us. I don't know if we'll be able to do some more stuff into the future. I'm hoping so, because I want to be able to get this leadership play going. Yeah, currently at 20%. If it fails, we lose 100 political power. People will rebound to the current leadership. I'm wanting Benjamin Spock to take over. I mean, if everybody likes him, I want to be liked, basically. So you've taken that, go to Obo, and then to these other cities, and then go to Hitlerstadt. I might need you to last stand, honestly, so we're gonna throw that on here. The Iron Glove. One of the most important positions in the cabinet is that of Secretary of Defense. President Kennedy certainly has not failed to deliver. When it came to the candidate for the position of Secretary of Defense, few had the impressive as a career as Henry Andrew Mouchy, liberator of nearly 513 men who had suffered in the Bataan Death March and then imprisoned in the Cabanatuan prison camp, and the recipient of 2 Bronze Stars, a Purple Heart, and a Distinguished Service Cross. Furthermore, his identity as an Italian-American, the first ever to appoint the cabinet, and a Roman Catholic makes him popular with both groups, who have roundly praised the president's choice. Though Mouchy is expressed a moderate and calm opinion on domestic matters, his stance on international fascism, especially the people who are responsible for the atrocities in the Philippines, is as stern as harsh as ever. The memories of the cruelty of those who had denied their freedoms of men remains fresh in his mind, and he's not likely to forget them. Okay. So we get more increase for industrial regulations as well as for security. Our special forces are a little bit better, which I mean is nice. I don't know if it's going to be a big deal one way or the other, but I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. We don't care about these right now. The nationalists are pretty happy with us. Operational failure. Can I do it again? Or is Emil, is he just stuck there now? Okay, we did not get Emil out of Africa. Very sad for him. The end of the line. South Africa was a formidably peaceful place, especially in such a secluded countryside locale. Then again, Emil Maurice was not expected to be placed in an urban hovel half a block from the German consulate. Further armed protection from a trio of CIA's top men reassured him deeply of his safety, and gave his desert villa an air of tense relaxation. Emil had been busy scribbling away in his notebook as to the nature of the fascinating turns his life had taken. By no means a series of choices to feel pride in. It still inspired a certain satisfaction in Emil to have backstabbed the Reich and have lived to tell the tale. It was that moment when the unmistakable rattle of gunfire unleashed against all sides of the building. Emil immediately dropped to his stomach and started crawling to his panic room as he heard only one streaming gunfire respond against the intruders. The window, which had been letting in the air outside into Emil Shetler, fell and shattered to the ground, setting fragments skittering against him. The front door was kicked in. Reaching up in the panic room's door, a gunshot slammed into his hand, which reached for the handle. Emil screamed, the pain rippled through him, and his body going slack against the metal, desperately trying to pull down the door handle. The approaching assassin pulled Emil off the door and threw him into the closest easy chair. Emil's face cringing at the pain spreading it from his hand. He could only see the invader clearly now, a German in tactical gear, a look certainly denoting him as a member of the WWII. Emil knew that he was doomed. The soldier reached into his pocket and pulled out a photograph. With a single nod, he dropped his rifle, letting it hang around his chest by a sling, and yanked it out as a handgun. Emil Maurice closed his eyes, waiting for death, then felt a flurry of pain blossom from his chest. In his last moments, slumped in his easy chair, Emil looked up at his killer and began to beg for forgiveness. He would find none. Well, that is unfortunate for us, for sure. ROI, so there's now a new president of India. Good for them. Which one of you is further behind? So let's send you here, and then down to Danarstadt. And then you will continue up the northern road. Okay, maybe the end of April was a little optimistic. I kind of forgot how big Africa is. I don't know if you know this, like, it's actually fairly large. Civil war in Indonesia. The Pacific's a light. The civilizing influence of women. Today, history has been made as former Senator Maurice Nuremberg became the first woman to be appointed to the Cabinet of the United States. The President's new Secretary of Treasury, Nuremberger, resigned her Senate seat in order to take up her new position. A veteran of Oregon state politics, along with her late husband Richard, Maureen has been elected to the Senate since the 1950s. Her husband, shortly following her, became the Senate's first husband and wife legislative team. Nuremberger continued to serve the following Richard's death from cancer in 1960. Immensely popular in Oregon, Nuremberger has made a name for herself as a staunch progressive, particularly on social issues such as civil rights and healthcare. Although some question the decision of appointing a politician known for her focus on social issues to a largely economic position, the president picked her for that exact reason, to ensure that his administration would not prioritize profit over people. Nevertheless, it's a sad reality that a woman cannot get far in federal politics without being shrewd as a fox. Behind Nuremberger's soft voice and warm smile lies a clever political operator, well experienced in the glad handing of Washington, making her a strong asset to the inexperienced president. So we get production efficient cap, infrastructure, construction speed. We become more socially equal, more gender rights in America as well. I need you to stay in Leopoldville for the time being. I want you on this front. In fact, just delete this line. It doesn't actually do anything. We'll stretch you out. Why will you not? Okay, for some reason, I guess, is it because of like this little lake right here? I guess so. It's a little bit messy, but apparently that's what's stopping this. A choice, not an echo. Your America, your future. America is the last bastion of democracy on Earth, and yet a whole generation of Americans feels denied a choice. America is a citizen's republic, and yet the kingmakers, Kennedy, Rockefeller, Lodge, in New York and Washington, claim to speak for Americans from coast to coast. America has no need for princes or would-be dynasts, and yet these claimants steer the country forever in a direction. All is not lost, but the road to reclaim America starts from each and every one of us. To make your voice heard in the boardrooms and prior halls of power. America deserves a choice that is in your hands. A hard-hitting broadcast against the accepted wisdom of her age. Phyllis Schlafly's A Choice, Not an Echo raises questions that should concern every civic-minded American. Robert W. Welch. Paid for by the John Birch Society, Indianapolis, Indiana. Can I do anything else for you? Or have I done this like too early? And that you were simply like too popular and I fucked this up? That's entirely possible. That I've played this too early. Maintain social spending, which is good. And we'll see how this goes. The Indonesian conundrum. Chef Henry Haller prepared a set of club sandwiches to go out. Deli fare wasn't his specialty, but there was a major meeting going on upstairs on short notice, and he didn't really have time to prepare a more sumptuous meal. Just a minute, he called out in his well-known Swiss accent to the butler. We are still getting the side salad ready. He took a breath. What is even going on in the Oval Office? Indonesia, Henry, said butler Eugene Allen. Defense, State, CIA, they're all down there. That thing with the pilot and the Australian boat, Allen nodded. So they finally had enough of them, haven't we? Maybe, but it's just another disaster to throw out into the pile. Africa's a mess. We're still stuck there, and now we have another war on the horizon in a far-off place. I don't see it getting I don't see it being very popular. So if that is the situation, then I guess we should stay out of it. Haller took a completed bowl of salad and started dishing out the portions. There are too many wars. We can't win them all, and we cannot get into all of them either. That's what the president is concerned about. But the secretaries are telling him otherwise. Alan loaded the plates onto his tray. I was there. They're saying that the Australians are for one thing, they aren't going to be happy with a no. They want to see that Colonel Fala out of there as much as they want to see Hutik dead. And they're saying that the United States simply cannot leave it all up to them, or the Japanese will take the entire region. Haller was silent as he finished dishing out the last portions. All right, Alan. I think you should tell me what the president decides. Let it sit, or let's turn up the heat. Our request of military access has been accepted to the Swelling Military Council. Okay. So Indonesia. So this is the pro-Japanese faction, and then you are the anti-Japanese faction. Okay, what do we want to do? We did spend a lot of political power on on trying to do this leadership play, which maybe I fucked up by doing it too early. We'll see. Coordinate with... Okay, so we have a lot of command power, so that's probably what we want to do first. Hawkishness will decrease. Conflict will escalate. I'm assuming this is all playing on the same thing here. Okay. So if that's the case, for foreign policy, let's coordinate with Australia. Discontent will go up. Escalation will increase. No, discontent will go down. And why not also deploy MACI SOG, known for democracy. So his discontent, I think, is with our population. Political power gain goes up. Withdrawal recognition from the NKRI. They'll all get political power, which I'm assuming is probably important for them. So let's do that. That doesn't cost us anything domestically. And we can buy money from our recognized Indonesian government. Against tyranny. War support goes up. 5% more attacking. You know what? We'll do this one as well. That seems good to me. Slamming the brakes. In a cold room somewhere in the vast halls of the Department of State is a large table littered with maps and drawings and printouts. Crowding around the table are men in dark suits, packed in it closely to listen, and all across the room their faces are serious, their minds fully focused on the task at hand. Smith, the department head for the International Security Affairs, was at the front, looking more serious at all and ready to begin this morning's briefing. Thank you all for coming today. I believe all of you have seen the recent statements from the Australian government calling for a full-scale intervention, Smith began. Since they're on the front page of every single newspaper in the country, I'd like to take this opportunity to clear up our department's official position. While we appreciate their enthusiasm, we will not recommend a direct intervention in Indonesia. Scattered murmurs fluttered around the room. Some of the stony faces showed flashes of concerns. Would America be wobbly at a time of great need? Make no mistake. We are just as committed to the war as the Australians are, and its position may even change in the future. But we understand that escalating the war so quickly comes with a risk that are far too high to bear. To put bluntly, we risk war with Japan itself. That seems to quiet the room, and Smith continued. This is not to say that we will not be escalating the conflict. We will, but gradually. I trust you will do a good job making sure that the Australians know that. Smith is almost done now, and the men are ready to leave. As prepared to go to their task, Smith has one final message. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Okay, I think that's a personal message to me, to not spam all of the events as soon as we possibly could. It's like they know that I will fuck it up. We want to take Brazenville as well. So if I can get maybe this tank here, and then we hit Brazenville from two different directions. So you will take Point Noir. You are worth 10 victory points as well. So if I move you, I guess you actually can't go there. But I want you going in like this. The dinosaur of the party. The Secretary of State of the United States bears an immense responsibility, being in charge of the President's diplomatic choices, the Department of State, and the appointment of the vast and diverse multitude of personalities who carry out the diplomatic actions of the nation. With this in mind, President Kennedy's choice of the office, Cloud-Descent Pepper, represents the interests of the common man, whilst deftly managing the immense and towering mountain of bureaucracy the Department of State demands. Being a staunch progressive and a rock against the anti-democratic movements that have rocked the United States and its international alliances. Pepper, finding an ideological alignment with Kennedy after rising from the murk of the Floridian local government to the heights of the Senate ages ago, is now one of the president's most valuable allies, bringing with him years and years worth of connections, alliances, and most importantly, legitimacy as one of the Congress's longest-serving progressives. He is part of the grand plan for the president now and has to reform and make a the lasting bastion of freedom in the world. Political power gain, 0.15. Actually, that's pretty nice. I'm actually really happy to get even more political power gain. I need it. I really need it. But I will say that at least for the time being, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. If you enjoyed, remember to thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.